A very good morning to all. So we discussed the cladistics and phonetic systems of classification in the last class, and also you are now familiar with the taxonomic hierarchy, species concept, etc. So now we are moving on to some of the relationships. How you can study relationships? What are the different ways of studying relationships? What are the various factors coming under relationships? Okay. So expression of relationship. So relationship in phylogenetic systematics is a measure of common ancestry. You all studied it in your evolution classes. So it is very important to find out the relationship between taxa, and that help us to find out the evolutionary history of a species. So two taxa are more closely related to one another if they share a common ancestor. Okay, and that ancestor should be the most recent one. That is very important. That is known as the principle of recency. Means those sharing common ancestor and that are more closely related one. Okay, so that the common ancestors they share with other taxa. Before going into detail, we need some of the terms have to be understood while studying these ones. First one is there are characters like primitive character, advanced character, derived character, so on. Okay. So what you mean by the primitive character is commonly known as plesiomorphy. Here everything is related to morphological features. And derived characters, when this speciation is progressing, what happens? Some of the characters are evolved or derived ones. For example, in the case of mammals, the amniotic fluid, that is a derived character. And there are some species that have no such amniotic fluid. Lungs, a derived character. In the case of plants, presence of vessels is a derived character. Okay, up to bryophytes that you cannot see, but when you reaches to ferns, that character is there. So that is the condition. Derived character, that is apomorphic character. Then some are shared characters. Shared and derived characters. Derived characters are shared among the individuals or groups, that is in apomorphy. So some having unique derived characters, that is not shared, that is only in the particular group only. That is unique derived character, that is autapomorphy. Okay, so synapomorphy and autapomorphy. Synapomorphy is derived character, but that are shared. The other one is not a sharing characters. Clear? Now, and another important terms are monophily, paraphily, polyphily, outgroup and sister group. So we are now regarding what is cladogram, cladistics, everything you studied. It is evolutionary tree or evolutionary relationships. You can represent in the form of a diagram, that is cladogram. You studied in the last class. Okay. So in association with that, you have to explain some terms like what is monophyletic group. So a group that contains an ancestor and all of its descendants. That is known as what? Monophyletic group. Okay, and that is defined by synapomorphies. Then what is paraphyletic group? This group consists of an ancestor but not all the descendants. So some of the descendants are included. Then polyphyletic means a group that does not include the common ancestor of the group. Everything unrelated. Okay, monophily, an ancestor and all its derivatives or descendants. Paraphily, an ancestor and some of its descendants. Polyphily means no relation with at all, a group that contains no ancestor. Then what is an outgroup? A group outside the groups in question. For example, there are that characters only in that group only. Others all are having sharing some common character, but these having usually primitive character. That's at the lower part of the phylogenetic tree. That's a separated one, outgroup. What is sister group? A monophyletic group, more closely related group, share a common ancestor. They are under observation. So this I will show in your diagrams. Okay. Then a monophyletic taxon is defined as a group containing most recent common ancestor and its descendants. Okay. Paraphyletic also once again it's explaining recent common ancestor and its sum of the descendants. Polyphyletic no descendants, only unrelated one. Okay. Now, monophyletic group usually forms a clade. What is a clade? Clade is actually an evolutionary descendant of a common ancestor. A common ancestor from which what are, for example, a common ancestor from that moss plants, from that ferns, from that gymnosperms, from that angiosperms. So, these all descendants, moss, ferns, gymno, angio, everything, they are called as clade. So, they are the descendants of a common ancestor. Okay. So, monophyletic groups are created based on the shared derived characteristics. So, shared derived characteristics are accumulated and forming clades. Okay. So, we can visualize this in the phylogenetic trees. Then it refers to group containing common ancestor and its descendants. See, here I have one picture, you can listen here. So, in a cladogram, what we usually do is, there are two lines. These lines represents present as well as the past systems and time also. Here one picture, see, this is the common ancestor. This is one group. This is, you can see, there are some points. The points are known as the nodes that usually represents the common ancestor of that particular. Here you can see taxon C and taxon D share the common ancestor here. Okay. See this one, taxon C, D, E and F, from which actually C, D and from here itself E and F coming. So, this is the common ancestor of C, D, E and F. Clear? So, this forms a monophyletic groups. Those share the common ancestor. It's very simply you can see here. See, this is the most recent common ancestor of A, B, C, D, E and E. All have coming from this. This is the common ancestor and all this its lineages, and A, B, C, D, E are called clades. Clear? And this all together you can call it as monophyletic. But when you consider this A and B, its common ancestor is what? This point. Okay. When consider C and D, common ancestor is this point. Clear? And when you take B and C, what is the condition? They have no common ancestor. C. So, this is the ancestor and this is the present day species. Now, in this picture you can see, this is a common ancestor of what? C, D, E and F, common ancestor of A and B, common ancestor of C and D. These two are closely related. Because this is the most recent ancestor of these two groups. Clear? And see in this this hypothetical diagram showing monophyly. This dots circle indicates monophyly. This is also another monophyly. This is a small monophyly group. This is a small monophyletic group because its ancestor and its descendants. So, this is a monophyletic group, and this is also a large monophyletic group because common ancestor and its descendants are there. Clear? Then paraphyly is actually converse of monophyly, means some of its descendants only. Paraphyletic is a group containing ancestor species and some of its descendants. It is nearly monophyletic. Okay, it is created based on symplesiomorphy. Polyphylety is not at all relation, no common ancestor. It is an unnatural group of organisms. See here an example. X is a genus and its species is given here. Ancestor, see, this is the outgroup. See, from here onwards, actually the tree or monophyletic group from here onwards, because these are all derived characters. But this is an outgroup not sharing any of the characters given here. So, this is a primitive character ancestor, primitive group that is excluded from here. This is the outgroup. Clear? Now, see, this is a common ancestor. These are the two descendants of this ancestor, and these two share common ancestor, and these two are called sister groups. These two are called a sister group. Now, I think you are familiar with outgroup and sister group. Now, see, from here a derived character, that is here it is 5 stamens in the outgroup. So, from here onwards a derived character 4 stamens. So first group Q. So from this to up to this, there are the character 4 stamens, that is a derived character. Clear? And from here another deviation, that is flower color yellow to red color. Clear? Then shrub herbaceous nature, like it is moving to that nature. Okay. So then in some of these various nodes, after the node you can see some derived characters they are acquiring, and derived characters acquiring and new species evolving, that is a speciation. Okay. So likewise many species were acquiring new characters. Clear? So this is the condition of monophily and polyphilic nature. This is a condition. Clear? So outgroup, sister group, sharing of characters, sharing of derived characters. Clear? And leading to speciation. Okay. Now only contain 2 or more common ancestors. Group in which common ancestor is not itself a member of the group. See here in this picture you can see monophily and paraphily. So this we already, I think you are familiar now. This is the common ancestor and its common ancestor and all its descendants. See what is here? Here a common ancestor and only one side of the descendants is included, that is paraphilic. Others are excluded. So that type of diagram is paraphyletic kaleidograph. Now some of the examples are the different taxons A, B, C, D, E and F derived ancestral character. This is the ancestral character and derived characters. What are the derived characters? Here one character derived, so speciation, another group, new character derived, speciation, likewise. So all these indicates character derivation, derived characters and new taxa are evolved. Okay. So here in this picture also you are familiar with monophily, paraphily and polyphily. Red is actually polyphily, this having no relationship. But when you consider only this one, excluding this is paraphily. When you consider this all together, that is monophily. Okay. Now we are moving on to some of the important aspects of studying these relationships. First one is homology, similarity resulting from common ancestry. Okay, you studied it in the evolutionary classes. Character state of 2, more taxa are homologous if though some features were present in the common ancestor. Some features are present. So they are common ancestry sharing similarity. You know these two flowers, daisy and orchid. They are homologous. How they are homologous? Because they had, their ancestor has flowers. So share this character of flowers. Ancestor having flowers. That is a common character. Okay. So taxa with homologous features share and same similar DNA sequences, gene assemblages, everything they have. Another example of homology is carpels, closed carpels, and also here leaf nature. So modification you studied, flower is a modified shoot. So carpels are also a folded leaf. So it indicates that homologous nature, homologous with leaves. Then another one is analogy. There are convergism or parallelism or reversal. 2 points are there. Independent evolution of a similar feature in 2 or more lineages. Independent evolution. Reversal means loss of derived feature and again going back to the first ancestral feature. So derived feature, flowers with petals and everything are there, but it lost and go back to the first, means not distinguishable condition, that is perianth condition. That is an example. Then parallelism or convergence, next one is 2 or more or 2 distinct species share traits not due to common ancestor. They share traits but no common ancestor. That is convergence. But divergence, there is common ancestor, but in convergence no common ancestor. 2 separated lineages from common ancestor is divergence. See here, a common ancestor but 2 separate lineages. Clear? But share some common features. Here but this is the parallel condition. What happens here is actually some 2 species are there but with a common ancestor. Ancestor is common but evolve differently, independently. Common ancestor evolved independently. Clear? Common ancestor evolved independently. Common ancestor but different species. Here convergent you can see what? Two different ancestors. Means ancestors are not common in convergent. Divergent ancestors are common. Parallel ancestors are common but evolved independently. This is the differences between divergent, parallel and convergent. So, differently as they adapted to different environment, that is divergence evolved similarly but adapted to similar environment. Convergence evolved similarly, adapt to similar environment, but they are unrelated. Okay, so that's all about this divergence, parallelism and convergence. So one more point I have to remember you. By looking up these diagrams, you can see these points 1 here 2 3 4, these junctions, they are called as nodes, and these are the branches and these are the lineages or descendants. Clear? And these are also called clades. You have to be familiar with these terms. Then how can you find out the relationships in cladogram? So reading cladogram is an art actually. So by looking into this picture, you can say which is the ancestor, which are having a monophyletic relationship, paraphyletic relationship, etc. What are the, which all the species shared derived characters, etc. You can predict by looking at the cladogram. One example is in the case of human beings, our previous history, from where it evolved, chimpanzee, gorilla or orangutan. So you can look at the cladograms, the most the relationships, derived characters you can look at. So genetic analysis or DNA sequencing gives the better results. So possible cladograms you prepare and select the one. How will you select it? There are the technique, the principle is known as parsimony. So it is a scientific principle by which we will select the best suitable cladogram, that is parsimony. So we will apply the principle of parsimony in cladogram. So that also you have to study. So as a taxonomist, you students have to study the relationship. When you are going to study a species, you are finding out some of the new characters. So how you will assess it, how you will trace back. If some species are given and if you are thinking this is actually not to be included here, then how you will delineate this or remove from this. So you have to draw the phylogenetic diagram. For that you have to depend on morphological data, molecular data, everything. Prepare the characteristics. You studied that in the cladistic evolutionary taxonomic units, ETU, that you now know. Then based on that you can prepare it, you can have the diagrams, then you look upon it and based on that you can delete it. Now this is possible by using some of the softwares. So many softwares are available and you can prepare phylogenetic trees. Okay. So I hope you understood well. Thank you.